Hello again, and welcome back to Miracle Farm 1927 Homestead. We are so excited for y'all to be with us today, and we had some wonderful visitors here on the farm this week, and we realized not everybody knows how to plant tomatoes. So we've got all different kinds right here on the table, and some we grew, some we got from a friend, some we got from a nursery, and some Miracle grew at school. So we're going to go through all the different kinds and do some step-by-step instructions so everybody can get excited about tomatoes, right? Your favorite, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So here we go. First, I wanted to tell you about the two different kinds. The two different kinds are indeterminate, and those are the kinds that just keep growing and growing. You see them, they get up to the ceiling. They just keep growing. And then there's determinate, and they're the ones that say smaller and just really put on one good harvest of tomatoes. I always have a mixture because my determinate ones are the Romas, which really are my paste tomatoes, and we'll get into that later, all the different kinds of tomatoes. I'm telling you about the two different types, the indeterminate and the determinate. So right now, Miracle is going to show you real close up some of the little tomatoes that we grew in our toilet paper holders. Now these tomatoes are just now getting their permanent leaves. This little leaf right here is a permanent leaf. These two right here are just their baby leaves, but this one right here is going to be the one that you know that the plant's living and it's going to get its main leaves. That is a main leaf right there. And these are the ones we grew from seed. We soil, seed, kept them warm, kept them out of the frost, and we got little tomato plants. Now these are not ready to transfer yet because they don't have that second leaf. Now these I picked up from a nursery yesterday, and they have not been transferred yet into a cup or whatever you want to use. Now you know us, we like to recycle, so we're going to use our solo cups. So they are actually called bare root. They're still all together in their clump, and they don't have the dirt clod on them. They just have the little roots. So we've had to keep them moist. Now these come straight from a nursery, and this is what you'll see in the stores, and they're in the little squares, and these are ready to transplant straight into your soil, into your garden or your pot on your porch or anywhere that you have to plant them. And this one right here has been growing since midwinter, and it's been in and out of the house because we don't have a greenhouse yet, but it's already got blooms on it. So it's ready to go in the garden. Garden's not quite ready. It's going to frost, even though our due date for frost has already passed. It's going to frost again tonight. So I have noticed on Facebook, and when I'm watching other people growing for the first time, you've got to watch the weather. If you don't have a way to cover these tomatoes up, like these I got yesterday because they're my favorite kind, and I don't get seeds from these, and they're ready to go into the ground. But if I would have put them in the ground yesterday, they would have got frostbite. Even though the frost date for your area, ours is April 15th, and it's past April 15th. If I'd put these in the ground tonight, they will get frostbite, and all your money is wasted. And we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do today, and later on in this video, we're actually going to show you how to put them into the ground in the garden. But right now, we've got these bare root ones here to deal with. Now, if you happen to have a neighbor, or if this is how you grew them, like you grew them in a tray like this, but like these right here are all together, and if you pulled these out, they'd be bare root, because you can't plant was there 6 plants in here? You can't plant them all in one pot. You'd have to pull them out, so they're going to be bare root. Well, these are bigger and they're ready to go in their own little cup. So Miracle is going to, first, we got our solo cups, but they're all together. So Miracle, would you, we got to have a drain hole in there so they don't drown.
Every true farmer or rancher carries a knife on them at all times.
And they get in trouble if they don't have one. Because Mama always needs one. I don't always have a pocket with them.
I don't have a pocket either. You have to be very crafty with carrying a knife.
That's good. Okay, that's all we... Okay, she's going to put a little bit of soil on the bottom. A little bit more. Because remember, these are bare root. So Miracle now is getting the bare root ones, and she's separating them. Hold them up where you, there you go. So she's just got her one out of the 3 here. And she's going to dig her a little hole in there. And what's an important thing? That the soil touches the roots. She's going to put a little bit more dirt in there. There's something else about tomatoes, is that you see how much of the stem we covered? A tomato, wherever the soil hits it, will grow roots. So if you get a long stemmy tomato that won't stand up, that's okay. Just put all that under the soil and it'll grow. So hold them up for us and show them what they look like. Now those are ready to be watered, but they're not ready to be set out yet. They're ready to be taken care of and kept warm in the house during the night, and during the day taken out into the sunshine.
Hey y'all, we just got our cattle panels put up and we're starting to plant the tomatoes. We planted the first one, now we're off to the second one. These are plants that I grew at school. I started them in February as seedlings, and then now we're transplanting them into the garden. So to get started, we get us a bucket of water and set it beside of us to go down the row with us as we plant. So you fill up the hole, well, you dig the hole, then you fill up the hole with water. So I'm going to put 2 big old souping cupfuls into this hole and then plant my little tomato. So he's going to sit there in his little soupy water, and I'm going to get muddy with him as I drag all of his soil back around him and then press him in real good so when it rains it doesn't wash him out of his little hole. We like to dig a little crevice around our tomato plants so it catches water and it goes directly down to their roots, instead of all the water just draining off of it completely as it's up on a hill. So this is our second plant, and again I started these in February, so they're a lot larger plant than you would get from a nursery. And as you can tell, we grew it with our own homemade compost, so it's got little weedsy buddies hanging out with them. So I'm going to have to pull them before I plant it so they don't grow and prosper in my nice tomato juice bath I've started here. So all the little fella's got to go, and then he gets to go in his own little personal hole. Plant him, bring all this soil around him, pushing down good, make this little crevice around him. And now these little fellas, since they're not very small fellas, I'm going to have to take off some of his larger branches on the bottom. Tomatoes get blight really, really bad which is a disease on their leaves, and it brings black dots. It has a couple on them already, but it's for moisture, and this moisture can go all the way up in the plant and eventually kill them. So you always got to make sure that the bottom branches stay off.